Good evening, everybody. I have not made a video in a little bit, and my last video, I believe, was how to reset a light on a car. I forgot what it was, but I make random videos of random stuff that appeals to my life. And here is one that, if anybody's watching my videos, I recently bought, within the last year, a 2020 brozz 250, which is a enduro motorcycle. And I made a couple reviews. I made a couple videos on how I built it, rides, but a couple days ago I was riding the bike and I came to a red light. Light turned green. I went to go through the light and the chain snapped. The bike's got 2,112 miles on it, and the chain snapped. The original chain snapped. I maintained the chain. The chain sat, or the bike sat in the garage, and it basically didn't get weathered other than me driving it on the road, through the woods, and I did keep the chain clean, and I sorry, and I kept the chain lubed. So the stock chain, I'm assuming would have lasted a little bit longer. I'm not sure how long the chain's supposed to last, since I don't have a really big reference. Nobody has said anything about the chains breaking, but my biggest thing is when the chain snapped, it locked up the rear wheel. I was able to get the chain out, but it's a little bit of a scary experience to be like, all right, I'm riding and the chain snaps, locked up the rear wheel. And luckily I was doing 5 to 10 miles an hour, so I didn't have that issue. So anybody out there who buys this bike, who has an old brozz, or even if you have an old chain and it comes with a stock style non-O-ring chain, I would highly, highly recommend changing it. Mainly because you never know when a chain is going to break. And the original chain did stretch out a lot. I had to adjust it twice because of it stretching and it having a lot of slack in it, which could have prolonged the chain breaking. But there's nothing that I really could have done about it. So what I say, if you do happen to have one of these bikes, or if you do have a motorcycle, check out the chain, check out the tension, just keep an eye on it, because what kind of scared me the most about it was I rode it 2 days prior doing about 65 down a major highway, and I could have had the chain snap then, and it could have shattered and locked at the rear wheel at about 65 miles an hour. There's no way at 5 miles an hour I went forward, like I nosedived and almost went over the handlebars. So I could only imagine what would happen at 65 miles an hour. Could have went careening off the road, or I could have been really well and handled the bike until I got off to the side of the road. But do your research before you buy a chain too. Make sure you get the right links. Make sure you get the right chain that you need for your bike. There's a lot of places out there that have forums. There's a lot of videos about people that adjust the chains, tell you how many links are in your chain, what the pitches of your chain and your sprockets. So do yourself a favor. I would recommend anybody that has a stock chain that's non-O-ring to immediately upgrade it. That's probably, I guess, I don't know if anybody else has a thought process on that, but if you are thinking about getting a bike and you want to look at cheaper bikes, because I only paid less than $2,000 for the bike. So if you are looking at cheaper bikes, I would highly recommend buying a either O-ring or an X-ring chain to upgrade the bike's chain as it comes from the factory, as it comes stock. That's all. Till next time, deuces.